Okay.
Last call's ready to order. Roll call.
Mary Jane?
Here.
Frank?
Here.
Earl?
Here.
Jeannie?
Here.
Rick and Joe are absent.
Joe's one answer.
Has everyone had a chance to look at the minutes from the January meetings and public hearings?
Yes, I make a motion we approve, let's see, there's 3 sets of minutes. You want to do it all at one
Yes.
time? January 9th, or 2 of January 9th. One's a regular meeting, one's a hearing from the electrical company, and January the 17th was another public hearing. I make a motion that we approve those minutes.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Roll call.
Earl?
Yes.
Jeannie?
Yeah.
Frank?
Yes.
Mary Jane?
Yes.
Everyone had a chance to look at the warrants and time sheets.
I make a motion we approve the warrants and payroll time sheets.
Second. Roll call.
Frank?
Yes.
Jeannie?
Yeah.
Earl?
Yes.
Mary Jane?
Yes.
I need a motion to approve the transfer of police revenue from general fund to police fund.
So moved.
Okay. Good.
Second.
Roll call.
Frank?
Yes.
Mary Jane?
Yes.
Earl?
Yes.
Jeannie?
Yeah.
Approve the police fund monthly operating transfer funds.
So moved.
Second. Roll call.
Jeannie?
Yeah.
Earl?
Yes.
Frank?
Yes.
Mary Jane?
Yes.
Approve the January interest transfers.
So moved.
Second. Roll call.
Frank?
Yes.
Jeannie?
Yeah.
Mary Jane?
Yes.
Earl?
Yes. Next on the agenda is Eric Green, who's candidate for commissioner. Eric, the floor is yours.
Well, first of all, I'd like to thank you for allowing me to come speak, Mayor, Council, and Clerk. I'm going to give Neil a rest on his voice. Sounds like he
Thank you.
needs some of our good New Paris water to relax a little bit. But he said I'm a candidate for County Commissioner. I'm running on the Democratic ticket. I'm unopposed for the March 6th primary ballot. Going forward with that, I will be on the general ballot for November. I'm running for the January 2nd start date seat, which is held by Chris Day currently. He has 2 opponents against him, and I believe a couple of them was here the last month. My main reason for coming here is, one, I'll give you a little bit of background myself here in a minute, but first and foremost, if elected as County Commissioner, I'll be lending a hand of help or anything I can do to help the village of New Paris and any other entity in Preble County. I think that, long story short, we're a small, tight-knit county, and any village or entity in the county needing help, they look to, hopefully, your upper bunch would be your county commissioners, that you would lend that hand of support should come down to them, and I would be that person would be more than glad to do so in any way that I could. Background on myself, for those of you who don't know me, I'm a lifelong resident of Preble County, New Paris resident. I started here on council myself, elected in '99, served 2000 to 2003, past council president, served on numerous committees, along with most of you already here. Then went on to the Board of Public Affairs, and then later on to the National Trail Board of Education that I'm currently serving on. In my second term, I've been president of the Board of Education in '07 and '08. In those capacities, I feel public service and commitment to community involvement, I feel secures me at least a good, honest run for Preble County Commission. We've had different commissioners with different occupations and things in the past, and I feel I'm equally as qualified as past commissioners that we've had, as well as current commissioners in office. I'm a small business owner, owning a disc jockey service. I've been in business since '98. I graduated from National Trail. Like I said, this is my home. I've got a vested interest here with my family, my wife, 13 years. We've got a son, Austin, and we've got a daughter, Ashley. Son's in 7th grade, and a daughter when we start in kindergarten this next year. So very proud of where we're from. I think we're all batting for the same team when it comes to we want to see our communities grow and prosper. We want to see our county do the same. It's very staggering to find that the numbers that most people 50% of our workforce work outside of Preble County. And if elected as your county commissioner, jobs will be my main focus. Neil has done a fine job here in New Paris with limited funds, and I think it's something our county is working at with limited funds, but I think end of the day, they're looking at some of the wrong angles as how they're spending money. They've given out raises here in the past. There needs to be a consistent platform given when they're coming to arrive on how they do raises, not just because of an election year of that nature. I think, like I said before, I come at things with a common sense approach. I'm fair and equitable, and I think that's what we expect out of our elected leaders at the county government. I will be open, and my number's in the phone book if there's any questions any of you would have for me later on. I know a hot button issue right now in the county government and talked about probably through this election cycle will be the Goose Creek development. My way of thinking on it is economic development I wholeheartedly support. I think, I applaud the commissioners. I've had some speaking engagements with them here in the past week or so. I've listened to their takes on it. The only two that I know that are avidly in support of it are two incumbents. I know the Republican field running, they're adamantly against it, and I can only speak for myself. I think that thinking outside the box and looking at some different avenues, I applaud them for that, but that's about as far as I'll go with it. I think the amount of money and taking loans out, spending top dollar for ground when ground sold just across the way for a low dollar amount, I don't think was a wise choice in tough economic times. If elected as commissioner, like I said, I'll go at a common sense angle. You look at your own kitchen table economics, you think, hey, I've cut back, and you want sole services provided for what you're paying them taxes for, not, so much to the county landfill, which they've raised on us this time around. Your property taxes, if you live out in the townships, have doubled if you're a farmer. In a lot of ways, you woke up to a lot of surprises. That I feel that consistency across the board. If you're going to build a community, you got to have service to offer. I know Neil's in the same accordance of that. He's trying to do so with the law enforcement we have here. I've been pro-law enforcement, will continue to do so as county commissioner. Pro-4-H, which I think is avid for our youth. We're a small farming community. Whether people like it or not, that's a big income to this county is ag business. And 4-H FFA is very positive, should never go away. When it comes to the business aspect, I would continue to help support local businesses. Because the local business, if it wasn't for them right now in a tough economic time, the Henny Pennies, your Silfex, your Silgans, those companies right there that have swelled, the Parker Hannafins, on and on for the companies that exist in Preble County, without their support and continuing ease to grow in a tough time, we'd be hurting unemployment-wise a lot worse than what we are. As I said, I'll be here to work with council in any way that I can if elected. Thank you for my time.
Thank you, Eric.
Committee reports, safety. Keith?
Appointments or not. The police department handled 86 calls for service in January. They took 7 reports, issued 2 citations, and 13 warnings. The only 2 things I have to pass along is tomorrow is our radio frequency change. It's been in the works for about 4 years and is federally mandated. And tomorrow's the big day. So all of our radios throughout the county will be changed to a different frequency tomorrow. Which means all of our portables, all of our car radios, our base stations in the office, all that have to go when we switch to another frequency. So it cost us about $2,400 to do it. If we wouldn't have received a grant from EMA back in the summer, it would cost us over $6,000. So that's been in the works for a while, and I'm glad it's here to get it over tomorrow. The only other thing I got is we have taser training that's every weekend, so we'll want to do the go through that one more time.
Who's the guinea pig?
We're going to avoid that.
Oh, I'm glad that
We've all
hurt.
been shot, so we're going to do it without it.
And changing that frequency, does that mean you can't hear you on the scanner anymore?
I believe you'll be able to hear it, but it'll be at a lesser volume. It's going to be pretty much the same channel, only it's called narrow banding. Basically, we'll cut that frequency in half, and we did half of it, that way they can sell the other half to somebody else.
You mean I have to take my
radio over and get
You
it
don't have to do nothing, it's just.
Turn it up. That's all you gotta do, turn it up.
turned up? Okay. All right. I don't understand half of it anyway, but it's interesting at night to listen to it.
Building,
Nope,
You know?
streets,
nope,
lights.
Finance, anybody?
Sanitation, Mary Jane.
I sent out a couple letters. I haven't been checked on it yet, but I go back up. I did go drive by one day and they were cleaning some places up. I have an appointment with the attorney February the 15th over the burnt buildings and
Prosecutor attorney couldn't get the nuisance ordinance finished. Okay, couldn't have it for this meeting, but he'll hopefully have it for the next. Okay.
yeah, Chris and I have been working on that. We want all the members to have a copy before we finalize it.
Planning with nothing, EPA, Ralph, anything?
Nothing, unless you have anything for us. I don't have anything for folks.
Thank you. Resolution 2012 amended certificate. Resolution 2012.
Resolution 2012-2, request for amended 2012 certificate of estimate resources.
And it's because we're giving you grant.
This is what the,
So we start giving the grant.
Right.
Need a motion?
Yep.
So moved.
Second. Roll call.
Mary Jane?
Yes.
Frank?
Yes.
Jamie?
Yeah.
Earl?
Yes.
We need to waive this reading rule.
Yeah.
Make a motion to waive the free reading rule and then declare an emergency.
For a second.
Second.
Roll call.
Jamie?
Yeah.
Earl?
Yes.
Frank?
Yes.
Mary Jane?
Yes.
Next, the solid waste 2012-13.
Should be on the front.
What's that?
Should be on three.
Read this page here.
2012-3, just
Resolution ordinance number 2012-3, resolution for ordinance to adopt solid waste management plan for the Crawford County Solid Waste Management District. Whereas the village of New Paris, county, city, village, township is located within Preble County Solid Waste Management District. Whereas the Preble County Solid Waste Management District Policy Committee prepared and adopted the final draft of solid waste management plan in accordance to the Ohio Revised Code sections 3734.53 and 3734.54 and 3734.55. Whereas the Preble County Solid Waste Management District has provided a copy of the adopted final waste management plan for ratification to each of the legislative authorities in the district. Whereas the village of New Paris must decide whether it approves of the solid waste management plan within 90 days of receipt of the final plan draft. Now be therefore resolved by the council of New Paris. 1, the village of New Paris approves or disapproves the Preble County solid waste management plan. 2, the clerk is hereby directed to send the district a copy of the resolution to the attention of Latinza Flonger, Director Coordinator, Preble County Solid Waste Management District, 449 U.S. Route 127, South Eaton, Ohio, 45320. And 3, that it is found that to determine that all formal actions of this council concerning and relating to the passage of this resolution of this council and any of its committees that resulted in such formal actions were in meetings open to the public in compliance with all legal requirements, including sections 121.22 of the Ohio Revised Code.
What was that?
To approve.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Jamie,
I'm not gonna vote no.
Earl,
Yes.
Mary Jane,
Yes.
Frank.
Yes.
Yeah.
I make a motion, we waive 3 reading rules and declare it an emergency. Second.
Roll call.
Mary Jane,
Yes.
Frank,
Yes.
Earl,
Yes.
Jamie,
Yeah,
Next is our flood insurance renewal. Last year, it cost us $2,320. It has, this year, it has gone up a little bit to $2,140. Look around, that's the correct.
I know everybody down in this area has to pay it, and it's about that price everywhere.
and should also increase,
$3,000 for flood insurance
We
because
can
we're
increase it if we
in
feel we need to. See, any need more than what we've already got.
you can increase the coverage in yours premium on.
So what does it increase to? What?
Well, it's up
I
to you.
just paid $800
You
for
can give
insurance.
the 2,440, you pay the 2,660 if you want to up it. If you think we need to increase it from what we've already got.
I would be against increasing it. I would say that.
It depends on what, have we gotten any other equipment since we took this out, or is everything still the same? Okay. Well, I make a motion that we leave it as is.
I second.
Roll call.
Earl,
Yes.
Jamie,
Yes,
Frank,
Yes.
Mary Jane.
Yes.
And the other thing I have is a letter from the Board of Commissioners on the Ohio Department of Development for the community block grants, which they'll be receiving $150,000, which $30,000 automatically goes to the city of Eaton. If we decide to file, which we've already given back a grant, so I don't see any reason for this, but just to say, those projects had to be in by March 30th, 2012 at 4 p.m. Be a hearing, 2 hearings, one February 6th at 10 and the other one on May 9th. With that, see ya. That's it.
I have small business I want to bring out.
All right.
I want I'd like to clarify some things that's been brought up, especially in the past meeting, and this same old stuff going over and over about the income tax. And back in August of 2nd in 1993, I came on council in 92, and in 93, the income tax came up, and this was during Susan Mills' administration. Dwight Regal, Lois Wiley, Pat Hall, and James Bryant was on that council, and Mr. Brubaker was there to ask questions about the income tax. Also, on the police department, there was about 4 people that they approved to become on the police department. They're saying we have too many now. We have more money back then we got now. Also, on the income tax, it was brought up again in a regular meeting on April the 3rd of 2000. That was for the income tax, because they're saying we tried to shove it down their throat. and I'm just trying to prove that we didn't do that. The income tax report, again, came up on July the 3rd with, I think Jeannie was on that council then, along with Mayor Kyle and Darkus Kirkpatrick. From November the 13th of '08, there was another avenue that you brought up about the income tax. And February the 9th, February 2nd of '09, it was brought up again by Rick Van Winkle. And we had invited Jim Kepler to come to the next meeting, and that was on March the 2nd of 2009, when Jim Kepler came and discussed what we had to do. May the 4th of 2009, it was brought up again. Mr. McDoulan, we was going to ask Mr. McDoulan to come to the next meeting, in which he did, and he explained a lot about the income tax, in which Mr. Carlotti was at that meeting. This is just more about the income tax, and he explained all of that. In regular council meeting, June the 6th of 11th, when you read the first reading, and then there was the other readings done on May the 2nd. And then, Mr. Carlotti, in the New Paris News, you keep saying that I said it was a luxury. Police department's a luxury. I did not say that. That was a mistake by the paper.
Well, I happen to have the paper right here.
I do too, right here.
But if you
And
were-
I also know that on national TV, you was on there with Neil Hoffman's name under it, so if you believe this, and I guess I'll have to start calling you Mr. Hoffman.
Well, I can't control the TV.
I can't control the paper either.
Well, you never asked.
Did
for
you
a
ask
retraction.
for a retraction?
Yes, I did. I was down there and they did not do that. Also,
Can't help it.
on the street, I can't either. Did you ask for a retraction?
I didn't need
Did
it.
they do
Wait a
it?
minute, Mayor Jane, we're not gonna get into an argument over this.
And
Just
also,
make your statement.
okay, I'm just telling you, there was no calls made to DP&L either. And then getting into the police budget, I know the chief has explained it. I have a copy here of what goes into the police
You
department.
lost me. What calls weren't made to DPL?
They said that they did not have any calls from any
Mary Jane,
residents.
Go ahead,
Okay.
make your statement.
Well,
Okay, anyway, here's a copy of what goes into the police department. And we have to transfer funds because we don't give the police department, we don't get all that tax money at one time. It dwindles out. And you've been on council before along with Don Stokes and Lois and all of them, so you ought to know how it works.
and I was overseeing, yes.
And,
Well, that's all the water under the bridge.
yes, it is, and also right here, we talked about last meeting, the chief living outside the village. We had a chief that lived in Dayton. We had a chief that lived in Richmond.
Who did, well, I know. who
And
did.
also here is a copy of a new law that they can live anywhere in the state of Ohio if they want to, with approval from council.
And approval. Council did approve him living where he
Yes,
and hiring him there.
that's
right?
all I have. I just wanted to clarify something.
Okay,
Okay.
thank you very much. With that being said, the next meeting is March 5th, 2012 at 7 p.m. Need a motion to adjourn.
So moved. Second.
Roll call.
Mayor Jane,
Yes.
Frank,
Yes.
Jean,
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you.
Well, I'm sure everybody did the statement for you.
Yeah. they
Well,
did.
I'm sure they did. I told